Close your eyes and imagine a world where pollution simply disappears, where oil spills are eaten by hungry microbes, where toxic metals are absorbed by plants, and where contaminated soil becomes fertile earth again, all through the power of living organisms. This isn't science fiction. This is bioremediation, nature's own environmental cleanup service. Tonight, we'll explore how scientists have learned to harness the incredible power of bacteria, fungi, plants, and other living things to heal our planet. From oil-eating bacteria that can clean up massive spills, to plants that literally suck heavy metals from poisoned ground, bioremediation represents humanity's partnership with nature to restore what we've damaged. It's a story of hope, of innovation, and of the remarkable resilience of life in the face of environmental challenges. So settle in and prepare to discover how the smallest and most humble organisms on Earth are helping us build a cleaner, more sustainable future. To understand why bioremediation is so important, we first need to acknowledge the scope of environmental contamination facing our planet. For over a century, industrial activities have introduced countless pollutants into our environment. Oil spills devastate marine ecosystems. Heavy metals, like lead and mercury, accumulate in soil, making land unsuitable for farming. Pesticides and chemicals seep into groundwater, threatening drinking supplies. Plastic pollution chokes our oceans, while industrial solvents contaminate entire neighborhoods. Traditional cleanup methods are often expensive, disruptive, and sometimes create new problems. Digging up contaminated soil and trucking it to hazardous waste sites simply moves the problem from one place to another. Chemical treatments can be effective, but may introduce new toxins into the environment. But what if, instead of fighting pollution with more chemicals, we could recruit nature's own cleanup specialists? What if billions of years of evolution had already created organisms perfectly designed to break down these contaminants and turn them into harmless or even beneficial substances? This insight led scientists to discover that many naturally occurring microorganisms had evolved the ability to digest even the most unlikely substances, including many industrial pollutants. The challenge was learning how to harness and enhance these natural cleanup processes. Deep in the soil and floating in water live some of the Earth's most remarkable environmental heroes. These microscopic organisms, bacteria and fungi, have evolved over billions of years to break down organic compounds for energy and nutrients. What makes these microbes so extraordinary is their incredible versatility. Some bacteria can literally eat petroleum, breaking down complex oil molecules into simpler, harmless compounds like carbon dioxide and water. It's as if nature designed these tiny organisms to be living recycling machines. One of the most famous examples involves bacteria called Pseudomonas and Alcanivorax. These remarkable microorganisms specialize in consuming hydrocarbons, the main components of crude oil. When an oil spill occurs in marine environments, these bacteria rapidly multiply, treating the spill like an all-you-can-eat buffet. The process is elegantly simple. The bacteria produce enzymes, molecular tools that break the complex oil molecules into smaller pieces they can digest. As they consume the oil, they multiply, creating more cleanup workers. Eventually, they transform the toxic oil into harmless carbon dioxide, water, and biomass. But oil isn't the only pollutant these microbes can handle. Some bacteria can break down pesticides like DDT. Others can neutralize explosive compounds like TNT. And still others can transform dangerous solvents into harmless byproducts. Fungi, too, play crucial roles in bioremediation. White rot fungi produce powerful enzymes that can break down lignin in wood. But these same enzymes can also destroy persistent organic pollutants like dioxins and PCBs that resist other cleanup methods. What's truly remarkable is that scientists can enhance these natural processes by providing optimal conditions, the right nutrients, proper oxygen levels, and ideal temperatures. They can dramatically accelerate microbial cleanup activities. While microbes excel at breaking down organic pollutants, plants have evolved different but equally impressive cleanup strategies. Phytoremediation uses living plants to extract, concentrate, or neutralize contaminants from soil and water. Some plants act like living vacuum cleaners, literally sucking up heavy metals from contaminated soil. Sunflowers, for example, can absorb radioactive materials from the ground. After the Chernobyl disaster, fields of sunflowers were planted to help decontaminate the surrounding area. Indian mustard plants have an extraordinary ability to accumulate lead in their tissues. These plants can extract so much lead from soil that their harvested biomass requires special disposal as hazardous waste. But the soil they leave behind is dramatically cleaner and safer. Willow trees demonstrate another phytoremediation strategy. Their extensive root systems can absorb large quantities of water along with dissolved contaminants. These trees have been used to clean up sites contaminated with petroleum products, heavy metals, and even some radioactive materials. Perhaps most remarkably, some plants can actually transform toxic substances into less harmful compounds. Poplar trees contain enzymes that can break down certain organic pollutants, essentially digesting them as they grow and thrive. The beauty of phytoremediation lies in its gentleness. Instead of excavating contaminated soil and disrupting entire ecosystems, plants work slowly and steadily, restoring contaminated areas while providing habitat for wildlife and preventing soil erosion. Scientists have even developed genetically enhanced plants with improved cleanup capabilities. These engineered organisms can absorb higher concentrations of specific pollutants or break down contaminants more efficiently than their natural counterparts. Our oceans face unique contamination challenges, from oil spills and plastic pollution to agricultural runoff and industrial chemicals. But here, too, nature provides remarkable cleanup solutions. When the Exxon Valdez oil spill devastated Prince William Sound in Alaska, scientists applied a technique called bioaugmentation. They added nutrients to stimulate the growth of naturally occurring oil-eating bacteria, dramatically accelerating the cleanup process. The approach was surprisingly effective. By providing nitrogen and phosphorus fertilizers, scientists helped native bacteria populations explode, consuming oil much faster than would occur naturally. This biological cleanup method proved more effective and less disruptive than many mechanical cleanup efforts. For plastic pollution, scientists are exploring bacteria that have evolved the ability to digest certain types of plastic. These plastic-eating microbes could potentially help address the growing problem of oceanic plastic waste. Marine algae also play important roles in bioremediation. Some species can absorb heavy metals from seawater, while others can help neutralize acidification caused by excess carbon dioxide absorption. Constructed wetlands represent another marine bioremediation approach. These engineered ecosystems use aquatic plants, bacteria, and natural filtration processes to treat contaminated water before it reaches sensitive marine environments. Around the world, bioremediation has achieved remarkable success stories that demonstrate the power of biological cleanup methods. In New Jersey, a former industrial site, contaminated with petroleum products, was restored using a combination of bacteria and fungi. Over several years, these microorganisms completely broke down the contamination, allowing the site to be redeveloped for residential use. The city of Chattanooga, Tennessee, used phytoremediation to clean up soil contaminated with heavy metals from decades of industrial activity. Specially selected plants gradually extracted lead, zinc, and other toxic metals, transforming a brownfield into a beautiful public park. In Brazil, researchers used bacteria to clean up oil contamination in mangrove ecosystems. These sensitive coastal environments were restored without the massive disruption that traditional cleanup methods would have caused. Perhaps most impressively, scientists in China have used a combination of plants and microbes to restore agricultural land contaminated by heavy metals from mining operations. Fields that were once too toxic for farming now produce safe crops feeding local communities. These success stories share common characteristics. Bioremediation is typically less expensive than traditional cleanup methods, causes minimal environmental disruption, and often results in more complete and sustainable contamination removal. The future of bioremediation looks incredibly promising as scientists develop new approaches and technologies to enhance nature's cleanup capabilities. Synthetic biology allows researchers to engineer microorganisms with enhanced pollutant-degrading abilities. These designer bacteria could potentially break down previously untreatable contaminants or work much faster than natural organisms. Researchers are also exploring combinations of different biological approaches. Mycoremediation, using fungi; phytoremediation, using plants; and traditional bacterial cleanup can work synergistically to address complex contamination scenarios. Nanotechnology offers new possibilities for enhancing bioremediation. Specially designed nanoparticles could deliver nutrients or genetic material directly to clean up organisms, improving their efficiency and survival rates. Scientists are developing real-time monitoring systems that can track bioremediation progress using biosensors and genetic analysis techniques. These tools allow for precise optimization of cleanup conditions and rapid response to environmental emergencies. Climate change adds urgency to bioremediation research. As environmental stresses increase, we need more effective and sustainable cleanup methods. Bioremediation offers hope for addressing both legacy contamination and emerging pollution challenges. Bioremediation represents more than just a cleanup technology. It embodies a fundamental shift in how we think about our relationship with the environment, moving from exploitation to partnership with natural systems. Traditional approaches to pollution often involve fighting nature with industrial solutions. Bioremediation recognizes that nature has already evolved sophisticated cleanup mechanisms and seeks to enhance and direct these natural processes. This approach aligns with broader concepts of sustainability and ecological restoration. Rather than simply removing contamination, bioremediation can restore ecological function, create habitat, and improve overall environmental health. The economic benefits are equally impressive. Bioremediation typically costs significantly less than traditional cleanup methods, while providing additional benefits like carbon sequestration, soil improvement, and ecosystem services. Perhaps most importantly, bioremediation offers hope. In an era of environmental challenges, it demonstrates that solutions exist and that human ingenuity, combined with nature's wisdom, can heal even severe environmental damage. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember that across the planet, millions of microscopic cleanup crews are working tirelessly to restore our environment. Every day, bacteria break down pollutants, plants absorb toxins, and fungi transform waste into nutrients. Sweet dreams, knowing that nature's resilience combined with human innovation is quietly healing our world, one microbe, one plant, one cleanup project at a time.